Module 3.2, helping your golden prospect, what doesn't work. I touched on this in Module 1, so I won't spend a lot of time here on this video, but I thought it's a good idea to review what doesn't work when it comes to outreach with golden prospects. And this is something I won't come as any surprise to you if you watch Module 1, but let's go over it again just to be safe. Because in the next videos, you're going to learn how to actually help your golden prospect. And one of the best ways to help your golden prospect is to learn what doesn't work. That way, it'll save you time and money and effort from activities that will not lead to links. So I think it's a good idea to start out again with what doesn't work when it comes to outreaching the golden prospects. Well, first of all, sharing their articles on social media, it just doesn't move the needle with them. And a lot of the times you'll see people will reach out for link requests. Hey, I loved your article on such and such. It was great, and I just shared it with my followers on Twitter. And I was wondering, hey, by the way, I wrote another article that was kind of like yours. Maybe you'd like to share that. Or maybe you would like to link to it. And they're hoping that sharing their golden prospects content on social media, or even their link prospects content on social media, is going to open a door with them and to building a relationship up with that prospect. Unfortunately, that just doesn't work. And for a number of reasons. For one, why doesn't it work? It's too easy. It's far too easy just to find one of your golden prospects articles and then go share it on Twitter. Does such a share too? Would that really help your golden prospect in any way? I've never really been impressed with any of the traffic stats coming from Twitter. They'll come and they'll hit the site for a while, but they won't really convert. They won't stay. They bounce off. And I don't really care for Twitter traffic. Maybe it's different for each niche, but for most of the campaigns I run across a wide array of different niches, and if you're overseas, it's niches. I run a lot of different campaigns, and pretty much it holds true that I'm just never really impressed with Twitter traffic. So even if you were able to get your golden prospect to share your content, you shared his content, now she shares your content. Even if that happened, is that going to help you in any significant way? No. Okay, now the reverse is also true. Your following probably is not as significant as the following that your golden prospect has online on social media. That goes without saying. So if they shared your content on their Twitter account and it wouldn't help your business in any significant way, you may be thankful, but you won't really feel like reciprocating because you didn't receive anything out of it. Now, that's if somebody with a major following is able to links to you from their Twitter account. You'll get some traffic, like I said, but it really won't convert. So you're really not getting anything out of it. But what if somebody that has only 45 followers or 500 followers were to share your link? Would that help you? No, it'd be far less effective than what getting the share from the golden prospect would be. And that's the case. The point I'm trying to make is simple. Unless you have a huge following on social media, your traffic isn't going to help. Your share is not going to help your golden prospect in any significant way. That's why it really doesn't move the needle with them. It's nice to do. It doesn't mean you can't share their content. It might give you a penny's worth of brownie points with them, and that's great. And if you think your followers would like their content, well, then that's even more reason to share it. But don't expect it to lead to a link, because that's fantasy land. All right, what's another thing that doesn't work? Well, linking to their content. It's almost in the same vein of sharing your golden prospects content on social media and then hoping that, hey, they're going to link to something similar on your own site. Well, you give them a share and they give you a link. that, well, it doesn't do. They know the value of their link. That's not an equitable trade. So why would they do that trade? They wouldn't, and then that's why they don't do it. So what about linking to their content? That's doing more for them than just sharing their content. That's true. But if your site is on a, if it doesn't get a lot of rankings, and I could take your site, and your golden prospect can take your site and take it to SpyFu and see how much traffic you're generating, and then decide for themselves what the value of your link is. And then they can also go to their analytics and see if they're getting any referral traffic from you and from your site. And if they check and see and they're not getting referral traffic, well, you're not really helping your golden prospect. So linking to their content is a strategy that, hey, if you think a link to their content would help the article that you're writing on your site or would help your site visitors, then do it. I recommend you do it. But don't do it to try to get your prospect to link back to you, because it's just not going to work. Many SEO gurus do teach this tactic. You got to link to get a link. But golden prospects rarely repay links with links. I think with Eric Ward, I had to give him 10 links before I got one link. And it wasn't because of the 10 other links either why I got the link. And usually if you do link to their content and it's a good piece of content, the best you could hope for is for that golden prospect to share that content on social media to their followers. But it won't come in the form of an endorsement. And it won't bring you any extra business. It might bring you a few eyeballs. But for the most part, studies have shown that most of the content being shared on social media never gets read by the people sharing them. So somebody sharing your content is not a reader. And basing campaigns on focusing on them and that with that mindset, it doesn't really equate to getting links. All right, so let's move on. Oh my gosh, this is the worst strategy. What doesn't work? Inviting your golden prospect to participate in a roundup article. I hate our roundup articles, and not because they were really great at first because I thought they were very useful. It was like a group think tank way to problem solving. It was almost like crowd search, or where you get 14 experts to answer one or two or three questions. You're going to get a wide array of answers. But the problem with roundups is that they're so overdone. And that means there's a lot of amateurs reaching out to your golden prospect, asking them to be in their roundup, only hoping that they're going to get a link back for the roundup. The strategy doesn't work anymore. Now, if you want to do a roundup and put your golden prospect in it, it's a pretty good way to earn brownie points. But when I did that, I didn't run a roundup, but I did put Eric in a lot of my content. And even that didn't earn links for me. It was what I did afterwards that earned links for me from his site and getting his endorsement too. It had nothing to do with linking to his site. All right, why not to do roundups? Don't do it. True experts hate roundups because they're asked all the time. What they want is market differentiation. If you can help them differentiate themselves from their direct competitors, you'll get a lot more, they'll be a lot more responsive to you because you'll be entering the conversation already playing in their head. They want to differentiate themselves from other consultants or from their competitors or whoever that may be. So by asking them to be in a roundup, you're not helping them differentiate themselves. And that's what they need more than anything. And that's what they want. All right. What's another thing that doesn't work when reaching out to golden prospects? Don't offer to pay them to link to your site. And I did this. I mean, it gets people really upset. And it surprised me because I thought, who wouldn't want to get an extra $400 just for placing the link? And it would have been a really good link to have. And I wasn't against paying for links back in my Black Hat days. But what happens is it offends people. I don't know why it offends them. Maybe it's like you're like, well, like a link is a dirty thing. Oh, no, they said if I know your site and if I want to link to your site, I would already be linking to your site. So you offering to pay me money to link to my site, to link to your site from my own rather, is it offends most people. And if you do it too often, it's going to get your name blacklisted with their with that golden prospect. And because birds of a feather flock together, golden prospects flock together. And one golden prospect knows a lot of other golden prospects. You may be reaching out to somebody in Maine, one golden prospect, then have another golden prospect in Southern California. And then you'll find out that those two people know each other very well. And they have despite their geographic locations being in different spots of the country, they'll know each other very well because golden prospects flock together. And if you blow your opportunity with one golden prospect, you might blow it with a lot of others. I know offering somebody money doesn't seem like such a bad thing to do. It's like, wow, I have a great site, great content. I'll even pay you to link to my content. But it offends people. And Google doesn't like you doing it. But that's not why I don't like it. It offends people. Remember, we're trying to build relationships with these golden prospects, not offend them. All right, what else doesn't work? Begging. Begging. Begging, what is begging? Anytime you ask a stranger for something without offering something tangible in return is begging. And anytime you reach out to somebody to ask them to link to you and there's nothing in it for them, to me, that's begging. And if you beg long enough, you may get something from that golden prospect, but it won't be a relationship. And that's because nobody likes to hang out with people that beg. It's just irritating. And so don't do that. Don't reach out without having something to offer and before helping your prospect. And certainly, don't ever ask a prospect and say, hey, give the reason that, hey, can you link to me because it'll really help me. That's begging too. Don't do it. All right, finally, what's another type of strategy, tactic that doesn't work with golden prospects? Asking for a link based upon the merit of your content. I know I've said that a lot so far, and I'll say it again and again. Your prospects are busy with their own life and their business, and sometimes they have multiple businesses. And usually, if they have money, they're into really cool hobbies, and their kids are into really cool hobbies. And they usually are doing those hobbies with their kids. And it usually involves traveling and just spending time together away from the computer. Imagine that. And out having a life. I guess that's what they call having a life. Your golden prospects are out having a life. The only way you're going to get into their life is to enter the conversation that's going on in their head already. And that's something that I can't overstate. And marketers will say that all the time. And in 100 years, they'll be still saying this, that in order to be effective with your prospects, you need to enter the conversation going on in their head already. And they're in it for them. What's in it for them? And if you can't come up with something that's in it for them, then I think that you just need to, I know what you need to do. You need to watch the rest of the modules, and you need to watch the rest of the videos in this module and in the remainder of this course, because I'm going to teach you what you need to do next. All right, that's the end of Module 3.2, things that don't work when reaching out to golden prospects. See you next video.